Time to upgrade your music and destroy your bank account. Alright, let's kick things off this month with Skulldozer and non-stop ruthless crushing. What a lovely album cover already. Just a big old death machine. It's out of Long Beach, Mississippi. Didn't know that was a thing. Crushing death metal. Definitely gnarly, pretty brutal. Crushing is in the tags, I like that. Slam also in the tags. It won't be long. Oh, here we go. It's all kind of Cannibal Corpse groove there. Melodic solo. Pretty cool. I feel like maybe we could upgrade the vocals a little bit. This is interestingly, I usually give feedback on improving production. I feel like this is a project that could benefit from maybe like scaling back the production a little bit in terms of maybe making it a little bit more cavernous, a little bit more raw. I just feel like this sound would benefit from that. I like this big sludgy groove. It's very kind of where the slime lives kind of vibes. Non-stop ruthless crushing. Ooh, little transition there. Ooh. Okay, I like that. Okay, good attention to detail. Little moments like that are what make music like this actually stick with you. So otherwise it's a little bit dime a dozen. Yeah, solid. I mean, I think the songwriting, just based on the little sampling I'm doing here, is headed in the right direction. Maybe could do a little bit more to be a little more unique. But again, there's something about the vocals that's giving me a slight pause. And again, I just think a little bit more of a kind of old school production style would work well with this. But yeah, as always, just giving you a little taste there for you to check it out yourself. That is Skulldozer with non-stop ruthless crushing. Alright, we've got Karma Rasa with Khmel out of St. Petersburg, Russia. I feel like almost every episode now we have something from Russia. I like the cover. This is gonna be like Doom. We got some like kind of folky acoustic guitar here. Russian harp on here too. Atmospheric rock, post-metal. Okay. Good atmosphere. Production's really full. Little bar photo. I do always like when bands sing and scream in their native language, as opposed to using like broken English. I feel like more emotion comes through then. Cool piano on here. Vocals sound good. It's not exactly my style, but I really like the effects on these guitars too. Cool synth work. Little drag. What was it? Drag Me. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I can't think of that band name, but a little bit of Dark Tranquility in here. A little Catatonia, maybe. Pretty impressive. I like the little kind of like folky touches to the melodies too. Oh, there. A little touch of harsh vocals here. See, this is my shit right here. It's kind of like Moon Sorrow for this section. Interestingly, the higher we get with the notes, the stronger the vocals get, which is usually quite the opposite, but no, this is good. They're just layers and layers of, like, I can tell there's a lot of attention to post-production here, which is nice. Emotion really coming through. Ooh, I like that guitar too. Good drumming too, I like that. Yeah, not my main style of music, but this is definitely something I could see myself putting on in the background while I'm doing some work. Little organ there, I think. Chuggy guitars. I like it. I love shaking things up. That's why I love this segment. I always discover stuff that I might otherwise miss. So, again, check it out yourself. That is Karma Rasa with Khmel. Alright, we've got June 1974 with Please Destroy Me. It's out of Italy. Doing some more jumping around here. Nice little skull. Hey, it's me. It's my much richer grandparent or something. Cool little synth work on here too. Claw of the Iron Mask. Oh, featuring Richard Shaw of Cradle of Filth. Okay. We got here solo project. Italian composer Federico Romano. Wonder if this is going to be mostly instrumental, but we've got a couple of guest features here. Steve Smith from Nevermore, Forbidden, and Vicious Rumors, and Testaments. Very nice. I just became familiar with Forbidden, recording another video segment you will see later. Cool soloing. Damn, that like virtuoso neoclassical shredding. Cool stuff. Got Daniel White of Mordred on this one. Damn, but wide variety of styles. This one's a little bit more kind of 80s heavy metal inspired. Tommy Talamanca of Sadist. I like Sadist quite a bit. Another Italian project, if I'm not mistaken. Sadist does some good stuff. Dang. Dave Young of Devin Townsend Project, Godseed, Galsveerd. Pretty cool. Suffocation. Check that one out. Bobby Coble of Death. Christian Vidal of Therion. Man, some big names here. Patrick Romelli of Pestilence. Oh gosh. We gotta play that one too. So does this one have vocals then? Well, no, he plays guitar too. Durr. Fans of the channel know I'm not the biggest fan of Patrick, but I do like Pestilence. Seems really cool. Interesting project. So yeah, if you want some instrumental, kind of multi-genre walking stuff with lots of cool guest appearances, check out June 1974 with Please Destroy Me. Or we have KOLLAPSE with this out of France. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Can't be bothered to look it up right now. Cool little, like, centipede or millipede on the cover here. Kind of jazzy sort of vibe here. Cool live photo. I'm a fan of the live photos. Cool driving guitar there. Rock instrumental, ambience. I like a good instrumental project that can really do the speaking through the instruments, where it feels like you almost don't notice there aren't vocals. It's very kind of mood music-y kind of stuff here. Nice little drum intro there. Cool little effects on the guitars too. Reminds me a little bit of Dreadnought. Of course, Dreadnought has vocals, but the music itself reminds me a bit of Dreadnought. Awesome project. Definitely something to sit down and absorb. But another thing I would put on as like working music getting stuff done music. Chilling out music. There's this kind of like sense of immediacy to some of this. Good dynamics. Like the piano here. Ooh, funky little bass there. Slap of the bass. Another one, good, great production. Lots of cool stuff going on here. More unique things to explore. Yeah, I dig it. I don't really have any feedback for this one either. It sounds great. That is CØLLAPSE with whatever, however you pronounce this. Alright, we got Abyssal Worm with Kingdom of Decadence. This is just gonna be, yeah, that's the intro. Let's skip forward here. Oh yeah, getting raunchy. Getting ugly. This is a very, Giger-inspired looking art piece here for the cover. This is very, raw, early death metal. You can barely hear the vocals. Death metal, Germany, bestial metal. Yeah, these guys are out of Germany. I know people who eat this shit up. Not my go-to thing. I like the rawness of it, but I do wish that the vocals were at least a little bit more decipherable. I'm not as down for like the pure guttural style. I like gutturals, but not the entire time. Yeah, you can like barely hear them. Listen to Portal and see how they do their vocals, because I feel like they also have very subtle, kind of lower in the mix sort of vocals, but they do it in such a way that it still sort of like surrounds you. You can still pick it up. You can hear what's going on. So yeah, production-wise, play with that. Another cool drum intro there. I love me a good, memorable intro. Sometimes it's those first like 10 seconds of your song that matter the most. So hooking new listeners. Yeah, sufficiently brutal, I will say. Abyssal Worm, Kingdom of Decadence. Alright, we've got Ouija with Fathomless HYSTEROS. Out of Spain. I don't think we've repeated a location yet. That's always fun. Me on the cover again, good choice. Good choice. Kind of like a blackened, sort of spacey vibe here. So that like intergalactic. Oh, I didn't even notice. We got something going on here. If y'all know what that is. Not the first time I've seen that incorporated in some sort of blackened album art either. Won't be the last time either. Solid atmosphere. It does have this very sort of like you're in space kind of vibe to it. Very cold sounding too. Pretty cool. I'm deciding what I would compare it to. But words fail me at the moment. Nice little head bob here. I really do like this art. This like kind of tunneling vortex behind. But clearly there's some kind of themes around like femininity or something in there. Good variety of texturing. Like I said, production's solid. I like the raspy vocals. They feel like they're just where they need to be in the mix. Good mix of melody, but also just consistently very dismal sounding. Drums sound really good too. A little further back, a little echoey. Everything's in pretty good balance. This is a fun riff. Yeah, pretty cool. I like this. Really solid black metal from Ouija, Fathomless HYSTEROS. Alright, we've got KOLLAPSE with Phantom Center out of Sweden. Still have not repeated locations. 4-piece post-metal sludge. I feel like we may have covered KOLLAPSE before, but funnily enough, this is the second KOLLAPSE of the day. Just different spelling. It's a vibe. Definitely more of that, like, misery music. We don't find a lot of happy music here on the Best of Bandcamp segment. And I'm fine with that. I like the sound of the drums. They've got kind of a punch to them. And then the guitars sound like they're being recorded in like a storage container or something. There's an extra interesting quality. I would be kind of curious to hear if you did anything special recording the guitars. Yeah, more great atmosphere. Bass rumbling. Bass has got a great tone to it too. There's like a grandness to it, and like a certain glimmer of light, but at the same time still very dark and imposing. Ooh, that was cool. Drum part there. Vocals could maybe be improved on either in post-production. They're a little like squelchy, I would describe them as. I think they could be a little bit like fuller, a little looser. So it sounds like your larynx is like, I mean, it works, but I do think maybe even just playing with some post-production around that element, if I'm nitpicking. But overall, I like this. There's more. That's cool. Intro riff there too. Cool, but yeah, that is KOLLAPSE with Phantom Center. Then we have Piercing Lazer with a single, The Night. I believe this was just a straight up audience request. So this is just something that was thrown out to me. I don't think Piercing Lazer reached out to me. Maybe they did. It's hard to keep track. More of a classic heavy metal vibe here. Hitting those high notes. Interesting logo. I'm not huge on like revival heavy metal stuff. Like, I like heavy metal, but I tend to prefer to listen to the classics. But I'm always in awe of vocalists like this though, because it ain't as easy to hit those notes. So it kind of makes me sad that Phil Anselmo has like completely destroyed his voice, because he used to be able to do this shit too. Let's check, there's a newer single too, since this was added to my collection. This is Paradise. This is like a completely different vibe. Yeah, this is a completely different genre. If that was straight heavy metal. I don't know if I'm an idiot and maybe that was just a cover. I should probably look more into that. Yeah, this is more of like a slightly gothic rock song. Alternative metal rock. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds cool. Be interested to hear more. Yeah, that's Piercing Lazer with Paradise and the Night. Alright, we have Spit the Curse with Memoire d'Outre, Monde. And we're back to France. Combo Breaker. You blew it! Another cool cover. I have a headache. My brain is full of pirate ships and flowers. What is this? Post-black metal, post-metal. Reminds me of, there's this like progressive Italian project. I think Nero de Marte. You know, a little Nero de Marte vibes. Where it's a little like avant-garde too. I'm always hit and miss on those more kind of like avant-garde vocal styling things. So they can get a little wild. Drums sound great. Those blasts. Got some soloing here. What else we got? Check out. Yeah, those vocals just being belted out. Yeah, that like kind of more improvisational style. Sometimes it does it for me. Like there are things like A Forest of Stars has sort of like a loose improvisational feel, but there's still like it's like reined in, and it does still feel like there's a sense to every note. Whereas stuff like this can sometimes seem a little bit over chaotic. And over times it can get a little grating, for me, anyways. But I like the again sort of imposing, ominous atmosphere. I like the drumming. They do say they have shoegaze influences too. I can kind of hear it in this part already. Yeah, I think there's the foundations of something interesting here. But the vibe I'm getting is it's not quite there just yet. And again, I don't see any other releases on here, so I'm going to assume you're relatively new. And if that's the case, I would say €7 is going to scare away potential new listeners. Your focus should be just... You're not going to make any money right now. And that sucks because of all the work you're putting into the music, but the reality just is that. Like, you gotta build a fan base first. So I would encourage doing name your own price or $1 or something for now, but you're on your way. Just keep toying with some of those elements. Yeah, that is Spit the Curse with Memoire d'Outre, Monde. Right, Altar of Gore, Infinite Visions of Violence, and 2018 title. From Sentient Ruin. Not sure where the band is from, but Sentient Ruin is a California label. More raunchy death metal, blackened death metal, with a very appropriate cover art. Totally not bloody cover art. I'm really sad if it gets to the point with YouTube where they have to, like, censor that. It's like, come on, man. Just pay attention to what your kids are watching. all of you little kids out there that stumbled on this channel, this is not for you. Go away. Put on your cocoa melon. Don't have me getting my channel age restricted and ads limited because your parents aren't paying attention. Here's that cavernous death metal production I was referencing back at the beginning. Like, I think this kind of production job on that first album, this one here, I think that could do some good. Because even though this isn't the most, like, original thing I've heard by any means, I think they're shooting for a target and they hit the bullseye. Like, this is just what this style of music is supposed to sound like. Not everything has to be new, even though that's my preference. That was a Hellhammer cover, too. I'm a little curious about that. Yeah, I like the sound. I like the vibe. I always give bands like this the feedback of, you know, you're a dime a dozen is the reality, so what can you do to stand out more? What can you do that other people aren't doing? And that could be a lot of different things. It could be within the music, it could just be some sort of gimmick. Could just be really strong social media presence, but you're going to have to kind of like fight for it if you want to be bigger. But that is Altar of Gore with Infinite Visions of Violence. And then we have Pyramid Mass with Monolith out of Richmond, Virginia. Another awesome cover. So much cool cover art out there. This is very Dune. Kind of Dune meets Alien. I definitely see that on like a Frank Herbert book cover. This is black metal and doom. Note, by the time you're watching this, all of the songs should be available, even though there's only 3 for me at the moment that I'm recording this. I like a band that doesn't take themselves too seriously. Like, I love the super serious expressions, but they're all just holding two or 3 bottles of water. That's fun. Little stuff like that can take you a long way. Another one, great production. Just sounds massive, really suits the cover art. I really do feel like I'm walking around in this big, empty landscape. This also reminds me of that game Scorn a little bit, too. I could definitely listen to this while playing that game. I like that squealy guitar, too. A little bit like Triptychon in here, but also some, like, Inter Arma, stuff like that. Very sludgy, pummeling, abrasive kind of music. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. Yeah, I feel like this is full package. Like, I don't know. You can just work on getting your stuff out there. And again, too, I would say for digital, $7, I just think it's a little too high. Unless you're more established, you've got some other releases here, so... But yeah, as far as the music goes, I got nothing for you. Like, I love what you're doing. Just very engrossing, very insidious sounding. And just, like, vicious, dude, the way you're belting out these vocals. Very noisy. There's even a little, like, alterage in there. Drumming sounds awesome. Very cool. I could see you opening for, like, yeah, alterage or ulcerates. That's cool. You're making the... Like, this sounds like demons, like, swooping down from the sky or something. Like, you're making the instruments sound like a living thing. But yeah, that is Pyramid Mass with Monolith. Alright, next up we have Methane with Kill It With Fire of Sweden. I was, with that title, I was expecting thrash. We'll see what we get here. Okay, yeah. A thrash groove. Solid cover for that. Good old classic sounding thrash. I do tend to prefer the overseas thrash overall. A little bit of a Creator, Testament kind of vibe, maybe. Might have to add this to my thrash list if I'm going to do a ranking like I did last year. Very, very classic style songwriting, I appreciate that. Also, nice, tight 3.5 minute runtime. Can't say enough. Thrash should rarely be over 3.5 minutes, if you ask me. A lot of bands try, most of them fail. Some can do it, especially if you've got progressive elements, but otherwise, stay away from it. Yeah, so we got 4.5... You fucking... This is a great clip. You fucking accuser. So yeah, some songs here leaning towards 4.5, 5 minutes. I'll have to sit down and like listen to full songs to see if they can pull it off, but... They're really leaning in this clip. You know, I haven't really thought about how meme culture kind of ties in perfectly with modern thrash metal in a way. At least when it comes to, like, videos like that. They're really solid from what I'm hearing here. Like, I get a lot of thrash through here that kind of, to be frank, is not very good. Like, either the vocals are terrible, production's terrible. These are awesome riffs. Vocals sound great. They're in sort of the style I like, too. Like, I tend to like even more sort of aggressive. But it works. It works. Yeah, so kudos. I'm definitely going to add this to my thrash list to explore more in depth for the end of the year. And one of 2 thrash releases that's pretty promising way to start out the year. The other one being on Silu, which ended up on my best of the year list. But who knows, maybe this could have made it too. But yeah, that is Methane with Kill It With Fire. Next up we have Turbid North with The Decline. Ooh. That hit my headphones hard. A bit louder. It's out of Fort Worth, Texas. 3-piece heavy doom band. Doesn't sound very doomy so far, but I'm down. Liking the guitars, liking the aggression. Ooh, what is that? Damn, they're torturing that guitar. That's pretty wicked. That bass, too. I can see why they picked this as their sample track. That's pretty sick. Yeah. Impressed already. Okay, here's the doomier stuff. Good atmosphere, more great production. Good head bob. Track's not over long either. I love the bass. The bass sounds so good. It's like someone's playing it right next to me. Got some cleaner vocals here too. Big soaring guitars. Definitely matches this cover. The guitars feel like the clouds here. It's pretty wild. I like this. That one track though, holy shit. That just like bodied me. Again, good sample track. A big Triptychon sounding riff here. Speaking my language with that. Big chugs. That kind of Celtic Frost monotheist kind of riff. Ooh. It's big sludgy vocals. I dig. Another slowly but surely y'all turning me into a doom metal fan. And I can't thank you all enough for making that doom metal video such a success. Yeah, this is another one I might have to hold on to. This could have probably made my best of the year, best of the month list. So I'll have to investigate this one further. But that is Turbid North with The Decline. Alright, next up we have A Vintage Death with Gruesome Shades. More interesting cover art here. Suffocating Blackened Death Doom. More cool atmosphere, a little bit rougher approach to the production, but not overly so. Good balance here. You can still hear everything. Cool melodies, a little bit spooky. A little like folky overtones. Undertones. I don't know which word's best used there. This is out of Italy. Yeah, really solid kind of like mood music Lots of atmosphere. Kind of melancholic, but not coming off as leaning really heavily into any particular mood. It doesn't feel like super angry or super sad. It's just like kind of melancholy. I mean, that's the best word I can think of it. We got some clean vocals too. Sounds good too. Sometimes this is where bands mess up. Like those blast beats. Yeah, really coming together here in terms of all these different sort of raw elements connecting. Yeah, I don't know if I have much feedback here. I think you're hitting the target you're going for. Definitely plenty of people in my audience I think could really enjoy this. Yeah, I could see really being kind of caught up in this if I was just to sort of lay back and close my eyes and take it in. So yeah, that's a Vintage Death with Gruesome Shades. Then we have Total Invasion with Invasion Zone. It's out of Jakarta, Indonesia. I swear, I don't get a ton of stuff from Indonesia, but every time I do, it's always like fucking gnarly. Look at that cover. Lovely. Just gore-filled brutality. 4 songs, death metal, brutal death. Love that snare tone. I am a sucker for that like super tight, pingy, kind of dodgeball snare sound. Production overall sounds really good for this style too. Like, my hat's off to a lot of the bands on this particular video for really capturing the moment. I really do love that snare. And obviously Joey Jordison did not invent that tone, but he's the one I always think of first when I think of that tone. Many came before him, but I feel like he became sort of known for that. Good grooves. I'm not always into the super brutal stuff. It reminds me a little bit of Wormed. Rest in peace to that drummer again, too, man. That guy was something else. Yeah, this drumming, super sick. Who's drumming on here? Oh wait, this is New York. New York death metal. I stand corrected. I guess the label Brutal Mind is out of Indonesia, so my bad. Cool either way. There's no band lineup on here. I'd be curious to see who's doing the drumming, because it's pretty sick. Honestly, there was already a lot of good stuff in the first half of this video, but second half is kinda killing it. Kinda killing it. Yeah, this is great. You want to just get, like, battered to death, then check out Total Invasion with Invasion Zone. Alright, next up we have Active Entropy and Zebulon Kosted with Shaping Fatal Principles. Out of Active Entropy, at least, is out of UK. Interesting kind of sci-fi, semi-Lovecraftian cover here. I like this t-shirt design. Reminds me of something out of one of like Squeeze's nightmares in the Jonin series. I am the centipede under the bark of the tree. Avant-garde black metal meets avant-garde jazz. Okay. Which normally would make me think of stuff like Aeneon and Imperial Triumphant, but this sounds even more weird than that. They're like really leaning into the weirdness. Lots of noise. Some industrial elements too. This is like for the true demented metal connoisseur, I feel like. And like the real jazz fans out there too. This is a little much even for me, where It's hard for me to like sit down and listen to something like this, but I respect the heck out of it because it is interesting and different. And I really like the layers of atmosphere they got here. Saw piano, that synth elements, long track lengths too. Both of these around 10 minutes for their side. Yeah, pretty wild, kind of nightmarish stuff. Like, listen to that guitar. Now, I am curious how much of this is pre-written and how much of it is just straight up, just like freeform stream of consciousness kind of, because that's what it feels like to me. But it's, yeah, I'd just be curious to know, is it, I can't think of the word right now, improvised, or is it planned out? Yeah, very weird and spooky. Then we got Zebulon Kosted, however you pronounce that, with a 24-minute track after that. Also weird. More vocals on this one. Yeah, this is this is tough. This is definitely not for the faint of heart. I don't mind those vocals, but they're a bit loud in the mix, where it's kind of uncomfortable, but maybe that's what you're going for. This like gives me anxiety just like listening to it. There's just something about it. Very interesting. Very interesting, unique stuff, and I'm all about that. So, yeah, worth exploring, I would say. Yeah, that is Active Entropy and Zebulon Kosted with Shaping Fatal Principles. Alright, we have Glyph with The Time of Peril. Out of somewhere, assumably. Don't see it readily in the information here. They're cool, kind of like atmospheric black metal. There's a lot of reviews on here, but not a lot of info. Another cool bass, if you can hear that. More kind of triumphant riff here. I think previously we might have covered Remind Us of the Sun. That cover looks familiar. Oh yeah, and we also did Unbinding Sacred Writings. This little classic black metal tremolo melody there. Yeah, I've been naming these guys one of the better sort of like second wave, not purists, but like they're just maintaining that vibe, but they're doing it in a way that I do find worth listening to. It doesn't just feel like a retread of the same blueprints. Another good case of like this very noisy, raw, cacophonous kind of sound, but without losing the instrumentation. I can hear the bass just fine, I can hear the guitar just fine, drums coming through. Love the vocals, how they're implemented kind of as almost like a, just like wind rushing through like a crevice in like a cavern. All in good balance. That's how you do it. Don't just, you know, put a shitty mic on your amplifier and record and think it's gonna work out. Like there is still an art to making a more raw recording, I would say. Like the speed on the drumming on this is ridiculous. Switching with those D beats with those kind of like soaring. It sounds like Reapers, or what are those things from Harry Potter? The death, those that like suck your life out. We were just watching that too. What are those things called again? I'm forgetting. Well, anyways, those things like flying through the air. Very cool. I dig. I really like this style of guitar work too. That kind of jangly, chaotic stuff. I like this image over here too. I'm always interested in the cover art they picked too. It's very, like, more classy than the music necessarily is. So I'm kind of curious about that too. Yeah, just a wall of insanity. I dig. Thank you again to Glyph with The Time of Peril. Alright, then we have Dreadwitch with Tower of the Severed Serpent out of Denmark. Little ambient opening here. Doom for the doomed, oozing swamps of sludge and filth. Lots of Doom today. I feel like all these Doom bands are coming out of the woodwork, just trying to win me over. Another particularly sludgy, more death doomy energy here, which is good, because that's what I like. Even a little bit of that kind of like primitive man energy. Not quite as insane and heavy, but still some of that coming through. Even the song titles remind me a little bit of Primitive Man. Oh, we got some like classic Doom vocals too, though. Good head bob to this part. Gnarly. Yeah, very sludgy. Cool opening here. Good melodies fused in, little hooky elements that I find to be very important. You really need them in this genre, I feel like, to really engage naysayers like myself. I do like the album art and the font too. Very kind of like classic horror movie. A little bit of like Argento kind of vibe. Ooh. Fun little like distorted bass groove there. A little bluesy. I do really like blues mixed in with sludge. It ends up just being this like dirtbag kind of vibe, like In the Company of Serpents. Yeah, more good stuff. Really good. Thanks again to Dreadwitch sending me the download for this one. Might have to investigate further. But yeah, that is Tower of the Severed Serpent. And then we have the return of Skognet with Of Mountains, Rivers, and the Moon at Night. I don't know how many times we've covered Skognet at this point. I lost count. I mean, just looking through these, all of these look very familiar, so could be over 5 at this point, I'm not really sure. But another really good, and they're out of Germany. Great act for kind of that like second wave energy, but they do mix in some kind of modern sentiments around like black gaze and post-black. Always great atmosphere too. Acoustic sections are kind of a mainstay. I liken them more to stuff like Dark Medieval Times from Satyricon, or sort of like At the Heart of Winter from Immortal. A little bit of Enslaved, Frost kind of stuff. Those more kind of melodically inclined, but still icy releases. Yeah, this part is very enslaved here. It's a very enslaved riff. Yeah, and always these kind of like, not always, but frequently these short releases, but they come so quickly. Like this dude is very busy, always working on new stuff. which is why we've covered so much of it. Very easy to get caught up in all this. Another person I appreciate too, always sending me downloads for these. It's just hard to keep up sometimes. Yeah, very beautiful black metal, I would say. But without, like, losing the original tenets of it. I love how this moon looks on here. And the reflection. Cool little guitar riff there, too. Building into harmonies. Moon. Speaking of moon, whole song about the moon. Very good. More great stuff. Really hope y'all pick up some of these albums, download them, give these artists your hard-earned money because they work hard too, they deserve it, and they just don't get enough recognition by design. So that's what this segment is all about. Hope you enjoy these. That is Skognatt with Of Mountains, Rivers, and the Moon at Night. Alright, y'all, that's plenty for this month, I think. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite. What did you pick up? And check out the playlist, too, if you want to watch plenty more of these. I try to do them every month at this point. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off, and I will see you in the trenches.